Okay, good evening, everybody. It's Gemma Crane coming to you live from Norwich. I've got a little special guest on this evening, Kevin Dean from KDM Productions. How are you, Kevin?
I'm amazing. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Good to hear. So the reason for the live this evening is you got a little guest.
There's a cat's tail across there. Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's so funny. The joy of going live.
Yes.
That's brilliant. The reason for us joining or coming live to you this evening is in reference to something really exciting that we've been working on. And I just wanted to, I guess, explain to some of the viewers and some of the audience that we've got, some of the communities that we're involved in, the inspiration around, the track that we're releasing and how it's all come together, because I think the universe works in mysterious ways, and it certainly did on this occasion. So do you want to start by sort of saying a little bit about KDM Productions and how that sort of unfolds, and then how we met?
Yeah, I mean, all these things fall into place, don't they, Gemma? You talk about the universe. I always think it's more of our own universes and synchronicity. So whatever we're kind of drawn to or attracted to in situations or understandings and views, often people appear in your life, which then snowballs on and things happen,
Definitely.
And that's what happened with you and I when we actually met. But just before we talk about that, I mean, KDM Productions is the main record label I've been running since 1988, releasing lots of different types of products: vinyl, CDs, cassettes, download. There's various other labels I've started which shoot off from KDM Productions. But the main thing I've released over the years really are, you could say, spiritual new age type productions, either pop records, dance records, or especially relaxation, ambient type things. I've always been drawn to releasing and producing those sort of things. Now, coming more up to, I mean, the main act I've released under, although there's been many over the years, is Energy of Love, the Energy of Love formation, and the various albums and singles. And talking about this current situation while we're talking now, Energy of Love was always kind of foreseeing and predicting what's going on now.
Yeah.
And the lyrics to a lot of the old singles I put out are almost quite sort of spooky, really, to what's going on. And that was that, really. And things, I always felt something was approaching. I mean, one of the singles, just as an example, just come to my mind then, a 12-inch single that was released on vinyl that I licensed to another record label, was called The Approaching Cataracts of Time.
Wow.
Right? And it was all about, it's an instrumental, that particular one. And there was like a tension in it of something's really big coming. I always felt I was put on earth, like we all are, obviously. I'm not saying I'm anything, special.
Yeah.
We all choose.
Purpose.
Yeah, we're all put on earth for a reason. But I always felt my journey here was to be involved in something big, with an armor, with not being brought down through fear or shock. And that's what the music was all about on KDM, really. Energy of Love formation. That sort of love to the spirit of the earth. I mean, I just thought of a verse of one of the singles. History is ending. A brighter dawn awaits. Love, tranquility describes this higher place. The source of all creation will guide us all the way. So open your mind and you will find the truth and light today. Just think about us. This world is in a mess. We must think of nature. We must do our best. Feel the new vibrations beam down from up above. What this planet needs right now is the energy of love. Right. And this is going back several years.
That's so beautiful. That's so current. Like you say, it's just,
I know.
Bizarre, very bizarre.
And a 7-inch single I put out under Kevin Dean in 1990 when I was about 18 was called Welcome to the System. The system that we're talking about now that is trying to take over. So anyway, fast forwarding, all these years on, I did release several singles in the lockdown time, and the last one was Energy of Love, featuring Monty. Now, Monty is a spirit that comes through a trance medium, and Monty predicted all these things that are happening months ahead. We put that out several months ago, and that brings us up to the point where I was visiting the park, the stand in the park, and I wanted to put out another an aware, awakening type single, because Monty Talks wasn't recorded especially per se. He was recorded. The channel was recorded channeling Monty, and I sampled it and put it into the track. But I wanted to sit down and I could see this kind of from scratch track. So there I am in the park, Gemma, and meeting lots of lovely new friends. Lots of lovely new friends I met in the park, all on the same wavelength and same ideas. And then one Sunday morning, you appeared, didn't you? You appeared. You visited one of the local, and I think you were talking to several people, and then maybe you stepped forward, and the sun came out. And my first words to you were, as you stepped forward, the sun just came out, and then we often started chatting, didn't we, about different things?
Absolutely, yeah. And I said yesterday, so I did a bit of a live in one of my sort of community groups, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. It was a Sunday where, typically really busy family day, but there was something in my gut was telling me to go to this meet, and it wasn't even local. It was a little bit of a journey, but something was telling me to go there, and I was even late getting there. And I actually messaged the guy that was running it and said, "Oh God, are you still there? Am I going to get there and everybody's gone home or whatever?" And he said, no, come along, it's still going on, it'd be great to see you. And like you said, great people. All I remember is speaking with you and getting this like goosebumps all over, just like this, like tingles, quite spiritually you get these tingles, like your higher self is giving you a bit of a message. And it was weird. I don't even know. I can't recall how we got onto the subject of music. I think you just mentioned what you did, or you were a guitarist, or I can't recall.
I think about Monty Talks. I think I told you about that single had just been released at the time.
That's right. That's right. Because I said, "Oh, I'd be interested in hearing it," didn't I? And I did hear that, and you'd sent that across to me, and then. Talk a little bit about the inspiration of the track and Glastonbury.
Well, Glastonbury, yeah. And well, to follow on, at the time, you also said, well, I'm a singer. And I said, oh, I'd love to put out another awareness awakening single. So that was the first step, as far as you and I are concerned, about taking things further for making a track. As for Glastonbury, well, Glastonbury's the place, not of course, not the festival, but the actual town itself, Glastonbury, is a big part of me, a big part of my heart. I've been going there for many years, since '98. And I'm just drawn there. I mean, it's on the ley line. I live on the ley line here in Suffolk, and I live on the St Michael's ley line, which goes through Avebury and all these mystical sacred sites, holy wells, stone circles, churches, etc. And so, yeah, I released an album called Glastonbury under Energy of Love many years ago. So that's one thing. Glastonbury plays a big part. The place, the sacredness of Glastonbury in that area.
Yeah.
But as for the inspiration of, I mean, there is a connection with our track in Glastonbury, which I'll come to in a second. But so we decided to keep in touch, didn't we, after the park?
Yes.
Yeah. In touch. And then I said, I think we spoke after that, obviously, either on the phone or messaging. And I said, well, I'll come up with I think the idea was for me to do the music and just send you a track. Yeah. And this, the interesting thing I'll say in a second, and you just come up with the lyrics and the melody of the lyrics.
Yeah.
I just knew in my heart that it would just come to you. And you said in the end, it did just come through, didn't it? Come through to you. Now, Glastonbury was when I sent you a little video. I haven't got it anymore. I should have kept it now.
I've got it, actually. Yeah. I will have to post that. I've got it. I'll send it back to you so you've got it.
yeah, sat in the room at the hotel, and I just played the parts of the verse and the chorus. And I said, when I get back home, I'll knock out a demo version. You know, just sort of that'll do, bung it in, just so you can hear the general gist of it. And I did, and then you within a day or so you said it's come through. The lyrics have come through.
I know. It was insane. I received it, didn't I? And I remember sitting where I am right now, and I literally don't know what happened. All I can say is it's like it sort of channeled through me and landed on the pad, and I was scrawling like my higher self was taking over, as if to say, this stuff needs to be heard, you know,
Yeah.
this stuff needs to go out, and it has to come out of you as well. So you're holding all this stuff, stop holding on to it and let it out. So I dumped it on this pad, and literally within like an hour and a half, I think, give and take a few bits and pieces that needed tweaking or adding, I think we had a track.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's that.
Yeah, the stage after that was when I think you sent me a recording of you singing along to the phone. And
yeah.
The next stage after that was you came here. We started workshopping. It was sunny outside. We sat in the garden, the stone circle, didn't we? And started
right. Yeah.
workshopping it. Then we came in because it was too hot. It was like a really hot day. And then just we went 2 or 3 workshop sessions where we're just working on the melody lines and fitting it in and doing this and doing that, fine tuning, tweaking the actual thing. And then I remember the stage after that was when you record. I said, just sing the whole thing, beginning to end, so we can hear it back, just generally speaking. Because after that demo version, my intention was to start from scratch and build it, spend a lot of time on the track. But actually, the lead guitar on the one that's released was the original one that I didn't even bother tuning the guitar. I just grabbed the guitar and went down. And before I was going to record it again, just do something completely different, because I made it up on the spur of the moment. And I thought, that is it. I'm going to use that
so
tape.
Pure. Yeah,
and
so organic. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's the beauty of it. You know, the lyrics for me are very prominent, I guess. And you know, people sort of have asked me what has been the inspiration, and I think, you know, some of the lyrics being, you know, protect yourself, raise your energy on a daily basis has been so important.
Yeah.
You know, send love, wish them, and send them off with love and wish them well. There's been so much of a divide. You know, one of the stop the divide, raise your energy, but also send them off with love and wish them well, because actually not everybody is meant to awaken, and that's part of the process. But as humans, and as our human nature kind of kicks in, I think we always want people to, you know, be getting on with each other, you know, like us, all of those things. But actually not everybody is meant to be on that path. The other thing for me was really around the children.
Yeah.
Having an 8-year-old and seeing what's going on in the world today has been very, very difficult as a mother. And the future, you know, the future of the children is a concern. So there's a section in the song around fighting for the future of the children. Is where we will be, but actually maintaining that high vibration and feeling that you're not alone on a daily basis is really key, because I think there's a lot of people, you know, that are going through an awakening but not necessarily in touch with the spiritual side. So it's quite a lonely process if you're not understanding the ascension to the 5D and, you know, all the spiritual side, not necessarily the God and bits and pieces, but, you know, just that there is another part to this ongoing, and the future looks very different. So I think, you know, mental health has been impacted, you know, all of those things, but the frustrations of people like wanting to shake people at times, you know, has been quite frustrating, and people not being able to see family members due to certain choices that they're making in their, you know, in their life has been really frightening, really upsetting for some people. So I guess for me, that was what was coming out on the paper. And then lo and
Perfect.
behold, you know, it was done. And yeah, we kind of got together a few times, didn't we, in the studio, and we had some fun with it as well. We went out and did some nature walking, didn't we, to kind of clear the air a bit. And
I feel we've definitely channeled. I mean, I feel you've channeled it. I knew it when you said it's come through. I felt, I mean, I kind of, the original track I read from you when I first met you. I mean, you said you love dance music. I make a lot of dance music. I haven't done
I do.
but I wasn't getting music. I was getting this kind of band type thing, just a really good groove going on. I thought that kind of came from you, which is bizarre that you said you're into dance music. I mean, I don't. Although guitar is my tool of my trade and it's my act when I do variety, it's not something I kind of do much when I release things.
Yeah.
Although, so I heard this sort of down, you know, good sort of funk-driven track. Even now, towards the end, after the main guitar with the strings and there's an organ in there, and I felt I channeled it through to what it needed to be.
Yeah.
For that, and I feel that the lyrics you've written or you've channeled, you know, you've produced through yourself, are spot on for the track, you know, and it address all the aspects of what's going on. Definitely.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting. I mean, I wrote years ago when I was really small, around sort of 12, 14, I wrote lyrics. You know, I've been a singer since probably the age of 5, on and off. Weirdly, music comes and goes in my life, whether it, you know, family sort of here and then you know, different job, or you sort of don't have so much time to do it. But it's always been a massive passion of mine. You know, my nan was a singer, she was a pianist and was very, very musical. So I always kind of look up and smile, you know, when I do certain musical things, because I think, gosh, she must be watching now and have a big smile on her face, really.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, she will be very much aware. She may even be involved in some of the, you know, inspiration, you don't know, on the lyrics and things.
Yes, definitely. And, you know, it is it's interesting how that all, I mean, I'm still surprised, I'm still shocked how quickly that came together. But
well,
yeah,
labels I can get out pretty quick, and the idea is to get it out for Christmas, not for the usual commercial reasons, just we need to get it out as soon as possible, because if things are happening now, aren't they, we need to get it out. And I do get shivers when I listen to it now, because it's all, when you're in the middle of working on something and kind of slogging your guts out over it, and you are grafting, you tend not to really appreciate it, just do what you think is right. But when it's all done in the can, and several weeks have gone by, and you've forgotten what you were doing with it, and you just put it in the car and play it, you hear it as what it is, you know. And today I went for a bit of Christmas shopping, I played it out loud in the car, and it really, really has got a lot of energy to it, you know. And those lines you say almost kind of resonate totally with the music, the frequency of the music. Stop the divide. What a fantastic line, you know, because it has caused problems, hasn't it? You know, with family, friends, people, not necessarily us, but I'm talking about people who have certain knowingness and views and understandings, where if, you know, somebody else, not being judgmental, see it differently, let's say, it can cause problems, and that there is a divide. Although I think the people on the sort of awakening, aware community don't necessarily judge, well, don't judge people who are not aware, but the other way around, I have witnessed, you know, the judging, but that's how it is, and that's why the song addresses that, you know.
Yeah, and I think the other sort of line was, deep in their soul, they'll know what's real.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if everybody just connected to their gut and then what I call mother's instinct, for a better word, if you're not spiritual, your mother's instinct, you know, when you just get that feeling that something's just feels different or strange or not right, or, you know, deep within their soul, they'll know what's real, because that is essentially where that all kind of starts, is in your heart chakra, it's in your soul, it's really deep rooted. And you know, all of these things that keep unfolding on a day-to-day basis, you know, you've just got to ask yourself, what, you know, what is real here, and you'll get the answers that you need. It's really quite as simple as that. And you know, we've all got that connection for a reason, but sadly, you know, the conditioning, the social conditioning, the programming over the years and years, through TV, radio, you know, influences around you, teachers, educational systems, you know, absolutely everything goes into the subconscious and programs your subconscious, so that then plays out in reality. You know, and that is how it is. And unfortunately, when the subconscious is so programmed, you then disconnect. You really disconnect from the root and from the heart chakra, and really disconnect from what's meant to be in your gut instinct. You know, that's really difficult to then ascertain what's what, and that's when confusion sets in. So yeah, it's part of that line was really about that. And just ask yourself, just go to a quiet place, go to wherever lights you up, go out into nature or to the beach and walk, and just ask yourself the question, and it will show up in either synchronicities, or, you know, in a meditation you'll visually see it, or, you know, you'll get signals all around you. We laugh, don't we, about the angel numbers, the 1111, and it's weird, just every time we spoke it was like 1111. We're like, oh my god. And Henry loves 1111 as well.
Exactly. When we decided that, because we were sort of, I was sending you like new mixers with things a little bit different, and we got to a stage where we thought, well, this mix is the one. And I suddenly looked, I said, should we go for this mix then? Should this be the one? And I looked at the time, it was like 11:10, and I went, it's gonna be 11:11. Agree. Go for that mix, you know.
Yeah, it's almost like the universe has given you that kind of go ahead to go, this is it, guys, enough, stop trying to perfect it, you know.
There is that, and that's that, you know, we see that happens. But of course, the mass hypnosis of what you're talking about the, it's almost drip feeding over the decades, but especially the last 2 years, the reality shifted so much in March 20. Initially, it was such a one little drip of that idea of 3 weeks to flatten the curve or whatever it was, but it's been drip fed for almost 2 years now, where reality, people, the mass hypnosis of it all is accepting. And I've seen people who it almost sends them over the edge, because it's the reality shifted in such an immense way.
Yes, and the goalpost keeps moving, doesn't it?
It's all part of the plan. That it's, you know, they give you something, then take it back, then take more back. The answer really the difficult thing to explain to people who are not, and like you said, not everybody's meant to be awakened or have the awareness, which is fine. But the most difficult thing is to tell or explain to them the answer really is in the heart. And like you said, the gut, but the heart, all the answers are there. But the idea of the mass hypnosis is to reprogram the heart so they are drawn towards what's being said. And that is part of the main problem. And to say to people, go for a walk in the woods and look for the answer, if they're totally hypnotized, it's difficult for them to even see that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I say to clients, you know, an exercise we do is, so I ask them to close their eyes and I ask them to point at themselves. And everybody does this, right? So everybody does the heart. Nobody does this. No. Shut your eyes, and nobody goes, you know, everybody does this, because everything is in here, and everything you need to know is based in there. You just need to know how to connect to it. And, you know, everybody's on a frequency. Everybody has a frequency. And you know, if you think of frequencies like little lines, you know, the more you connect to that frequency, the better connected you are to the bigger realm, you know, and alternative, you know, modalities and things. It's just, we're so disconnected as society because of everything that's coming in. You know, you've got the virtual reality, the segmentation and stuff that's coming as a future, which is going to, again, it's going to push us further and further away, you know, from what we love, being connected with nature, connected with the outside world, hugging trees, walking barefoot, you know, connecting with Mother Nature. It's getting further and further away from that, isn't it? Because
there's much more to it that meets the eye. I'm talking about nature and consciousness and living. We kind of live in a dream, really, because we just accept and go on. But there's much more to it. And to a certain extent, that's all we're meant to know. The issue is people tend to base their lives on science, and of course, science is only presented science that's released to the masses to satisfy that one wonder.
Yes.
Much more that may or may not be known by the powers beyond, the science that's kept back or not. But right from the outset, right from the start, as at a very young age, I knew things were so much different to what the world, how it was seen, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I always, you know, there's, and a lot of people in the community will say this, and a lot of people I coach will agree with this. You know, they'll say I felt like the black sheep of the family, just felt I was different to somebody else, just didn't really ever fit in at school. You know, there was just that thing, I just didn't fit in, or you know, just that knowing that you're different. And I've sort of always felt like that. And I think a lot of the awakened community are now starting to realize that's the reason why, is because we were here and are here for this purpose. You know, and for the future, we'll go on and live very differently. Whereas, what's that?
There's another song there. It was almost like lyrics you were saying there.
Oh, really? You know, even so there you go. Even without realizing it, it's yeah, that's insane. But I just think it's just the way it's meant to be. And actually, what can you do? You just you know, you just go day by day and try and help people as much as you can. And you know, we're all, I think, to a degree, we're all empaths. Most of us are empaths. Without some of us knowing it, some of us don't know it. You know, I've had to go through a bit of self-development around that, you know, always being a bit of a people pleaser, and always putting others first before yourself. And you know, there's a few sort of things that have resonated over the years, and you know, you really have to kind of work on those things, I think. And I guess that's where I've got to now with sort of my coaching and the development I've done over the last 15 years with that, and having those boundaries and the inner strength to carry on. Because sometimes it is really tough, and I know a lot of people feel that way. But if you're not spiritual, it can be even harder, because we are connected, and we know that you know, you have faith, don't you? Whereas if you don't have that faith, it can be really scary. It can be really scary. And that's what I see. I see people with fear. You know, there's so much fear.
Well, that's the programming. That is the mass hypnosis. That's the programming from the darker side. It's as simple as that. We are born with everything we need, although that's been trying to be suppressed over the years as well, and especially now with what's going on. That being born with our awareness is being taken away as we speak now. But even before the last 2 years, it's been dropped. But we are initially, naturally born with everything we need to heal ourselves, heal others, to be totally aware, and to really enjoy the journey on Earth or whatever planet, you know, and be. But of course, the darker side will throw at that to take that away, because there's a lot of energy in the whole thing, a lot of power in the whole thing. And other sides, other sources want to take that away. I mean, it is a battle. It is World War III.
It is. It's a spiritual war, for sure.
And it has caused problems with people who don't see that, of course, you know.
Yeah.
Having said that, you do get some people who would have called me, for example, a conspiracy theorist a year ago. who are very sheepish. Who are very sheepish now because people have said, "Well, tell me that a year from now," and I don't go back and say, "Told you so." I don't.
No,
no, but it is the same.
I know. It's really interesting, and actually, it's just, I don't know about you, Kevin, but it's just having this knowing. And obviously, there's lots of stuff out there you can go research. There's lots of data, but there has literally been on occasions of probably 5 to 10 times when I just have this knowing of a date or when something's going to happen, and it literally does. And it's the weirdest feeling, because it's you just sort of think, well, I must have read this from someone. You always start questioning yourself, and you sort of think, well, I must have read this from somewhere, because I just had this knowing, but it's not. It's just being connected. It's just having that, almost a bit of a crystal ball, I guess. But
it's being connected to the source, because the idea of past, future, and present is a bit of an illusion, really. The equation exists, although there are multiple equations, hence the multiple outcomes, multiple universes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've got those predictions that you have, then you're connected to the source, and people can call it psychic or sensitive. You're reading the outcome because of the equation. There is an equation. Everything happens. What people don't realize is, Gemma, and things to do with like worrying about stuff. There's never any need to worry about anything, because everything happens for a reason. And if the reason is so-called bad, it's because one needs to learn from that experience, and people around people need to learn around it as well. So there's never any need to worry. The most important thing is to focus on one's intentions of that part or universe they want to experience. Collectively, yes, we are on Earth experiencing this at the moment, the current situation. But there's never any need to worry. I mean, you can be the most healthiest person in the world, and something can happen, or you can be the most unhealthiest person in the world, in the sense of like what you eat or what you do. And when time comes, well, I've slightly contradicted myself there, because a minute ago I said about time being an illusion, but when the moment comes, then it's purely part of nature. But people don't see it. They are totally tied down and tied in, sucked in to the ideas of luck or bad luck and good luck. Luck doesn't exist. They're only everything.
Well, you create your own. That's what I say to people, which is again the lyric in the song. You create your own reality. You literally create your own reality by what you think and how you speak, your language you use. The subconscious is really clever. It picks up opportunities through your reticular activating system, and it will pick up things that you are thinking consciously. It's like when you buy a car. I always say this to people: you're going out and you're looking for a car, and you've gone out to a car forecourt and you've seen a blue BMW. Every minute after that, you see blue BMWs, and you're like, oh God, there's another blue BMW. I'm seeing a lot of those at the moment. That's not a coincidence, which people think it is. That's your brain and how it operates, and that's your reticular activating system. And it's very similar to if manifestation is exactly the same.
Yeah. But what we're dealing with there is, of course, that idea or that reality. What you have to deal with is then people who will just say back blatantly, so are you saying my friend decided to have a heart attack and drop dead? Well, it's not that. We all depart at some point, right? People forget that as well. They think it's bad luck or this, or everything is meant to be. And
we sign soul contracts, don't we?
Yeah. It's not necessarily planned by the moment, because there are different versions of the intent. We've got free will. We have got free will. But when we walk down a certain path with that free will, inevitably there are the consequences which we've decided to take. And that is difficult for a lot of people to understand.
It is really difficult. And I can sympathise with them on that, because it must, people that, bless them, have got cancer and, you know, illnesses that you think, God, how can you say that that person has asked for that to happen? Well, that is the process of that.
And then people, of course, will talk about children, people, you know, or young enough not to make decisions. But the thing is, again, there's an equation for every spirit, every entity, every consciousness on different levels. You know, so, and this is not always to do with. This could also be to do with parents or ancestral connections or contracts, you said, or divisions on different realms. But when one just sees the physical level, it's difficult for them to understand.
It is.
Of course, then they will get dragged down. They have to have many experiences, whether it be many lives or many experiences on different levels, to actually suddenly start to wake up and think, or become aware and think, well, hang on a sec. You know, the whole equation is very simple, but it's just cluttered with overthinking and total pollution from sources that are undesired.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting. I've got behind me. So, you know, your conscious mind has the ability to choose what to accept or what to reject. But your subconscious doesn't have that, and it doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is not real. So as a child, your conscious mind hasn't developed. As an infant, you just have the subconscious, and everything around it is going in. So, and that can go back seven generations. So it can go through genetics, through the womb line, all the way back and be carried through, in addition to everything that's thrown in to the bucket of the subconscious all the way through growing up and all the rest of it, you know. But if you are self-aware and you're connected, your conscious part of your brain has the ability to reject some of this stuff before it goes into the subconscious. So, you know, some of what's going on in the news, you know, you think, oh, okay, well, I may be minded to have a look at it. No, well, I'm sorry, but, you know, I've looked at X and that looks very different to me. So I'm going to reject that piece of information from my conscious. Therefore, it doesn't go into subconscious. Whereas when you're open to all of it and you don't know the difference between one or the other, it just goes in. And, you know, from a children's perspective, that's the danger in the schools right now, particularly in, not so much in this area, because I think we're very lucky, you know, where we are. But I think some of the bigger cities and some of the teaching principles are very different. And, you know, they're almost programming certain language about certain things that are going on at the moment. And you know, that sort of seems to be okay. But and that will just go into the subconscious. So as a result of that, there will be fear instead of love that they'll live by, which also has an impact on their, you know, their life and their well-being, sadly. So that, again, going back to the track, you know, that's always been in my head, I guess, and my you know, knowing of eating. So
I would say that the track, you know, our High Five Nation and Energy of Love as well. There's a lot of energy in both of those names. Look, you know, I've said a few minutes ago, that, you know, there are equations. Everything is meant to happen, and of course, well, okay, so this is meant to happen. This current situation of the last 2 years, but the point is, there is a battle going on. There is, one can use the words evil and good, or negative and positive. But I prefer to call it intentions. People, or, you know, entities, energies, people, communities will have intentions for their own need, right? And there is like a love and hate thing going on, war and peace, whatever you want to call it. So yes, everything does happen to but the war is really accelerated now from the decades.
Yeah.
So the energy of love, the High Five Nation. I think what I would suggest is that we are, amongst many others around the planet, is that we are foot soldiers. And I said shoulders, and I've had that problem as a child. Soldiers.
Shoulders.
Yeah, foot soldiers to broadcast the love, the light, you know. And it's not a hippie thing to say, but there is love and intention of things to be nice and beautiful, heavenly. But there's the other side as well. That's the battle going on. So looking back at all my work, particularly, I know with you as well, we are channeling the foot soldiers, the other foot soldiers, amongst many others. People call us light workers, don't they, as well? Light workers.
Yes.
And it can come through various sources, and for me, it's been music, whether it be me playing guitar on stage in a show or through a production, you know, a recording. And it comes through, and it'll zoom through and hit people. It'll filter through many like a sieve, but also it'll make people feel good because they have the same thoughts and they think, well, I'm not alone. That's what we're talking about with the song, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Just to mention as well, I've just popped it on the bottom there. If you want to have a little listen before the release date, which is the 20th of December of the track, you can have a little listen on YouTube. It's called You're Not Alone, and it's High Vibe Nation, which if you say it fast again, it came through, didn't it? I think I was in a petrol station randomly and I was like, High Vibe Nation, high vibration. If you say it quick, it says, it's there. So that was the inspiration behind that, really. It just came through. But
High Vibe Nation at the petrol station.
Yeah, exactly. So release date being the 20th, available on iTunes, Deezer, you know, all of the Amazon,
all the main platforms worldwide. So it'll be available in, you know, America, Japan, Canada, all around the world. But also available on streaming services like Spotify as well. But it'll be out there, and you know we've done it in the last few weeks or a couple of months, 2 or 3 months. So I'm looking forward for it to be out there. And who knows, we may do a follow-up, might we, as well, in the new year?
Yes, we're already talking about it, aren't we? So we may do that. I've actually, Kevin won't be joining me because sadly he's teaching, but I've actually got a performance this evening with Mark Campling at the Maid's Head in Old Catton. Not sure of the timings of that as yet, but we'll be there this evening. That's going to be the first live performance of the track, which is really exciting. So I'm going to get that videoed and have a couple of Christmas drinks as well. So I'm with some of the dance teachers that I teach with, and we're just going to have a little Christmas drink.
And you're going to have to do the air guitar on the guitar solos.
Oh, I know. I've had a couple of people say to me, do you play the guitar? And I'm like, God, no, I wish. But no, it was a bit of fun, wasn't it? I was just like, let me have a picture with the guitar.
Well, I think the sun just came through and I said, quick, take the guitar, take a picture. And there's a lovely photograph of you standing there doing that. Overall, the photo shoot was only last Sunday, wasn't it? And within 24 hours, we'd sort of got the whole cover ready and the promotional ready from those photographs, but they're really good.
Yeah, incredible how it's all come together. And thank you so much for connecting, and thank you, Universe, for bringing us together, because that was just amazing.
Thank our universes, it's happened, so it's good.
Exactly. All right, Kevin, well, nice talking to you, and no doubt we'll catch up very soon.
Absolutely. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.